These are the Diddy pictures Hollywood doesn't want you to see. Every A-list celebrity, from Leonardo DiCaprio to Mariah Carey, can be seen partying with the disgraced rapper at his various get-togethers dating back to 1998.
That Jay-Z is accused of being a 13-year-old girl. That is new in the Diddy lawsuit, and the new allegations are just coming out this evening.
The latest stunning turn of events has legendary rapper and entrepreneur Jay-Z being accused of allegedly assaulting a minor back in 2000, along with Sean Diddy Combs. Jay-Z defiantly responds, "If you want to come for me, bring out the facts and evidence." With the legal storm brewing, the cry for the truth by the music mogul reverberates through the industry as he demands accountability for such horrific allegations. In October 2024, in the midst of the Diddy scandal, an anonymous 38-year-old woman came forward with a lawsuit alleging that she had been assaulted by Jay-Z and Diddy back in 2000 when she was only 13 years old, and that itself has raised a firestorm of controversy. As the details emerge, disturbing discrepancies in her narrative come to light, raising serious questions. The timeline of events appears increasingly unstable, with conflicting statements leaving doubts about whether the alleged incidents even occurred. Even after claiming to have been sedated and then assaulted, there are still questions as to the validity of such a story, and one must wonder if the truth shall ever be weeded out of this web of accusations. Let's delve into the details. Prepare to be blown away as this one lawsuit exposes multiple scandals. Jay-Z embroiled in controversy alongside Diddy. Lawsuit alleges assault against minor. In October 2024, a civil lawsuit rattled the music industry to its core. Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs were accused of taking advantage of a 13-year-old girl back in 2000. The accuser, identified in court documents only as Jane Doe, described the harrowing claims with an after-party following the MTV Video Music Awards. According to the lawsuit, Jane Doe attended the VMA's ticket list in hopes of getting inside or at least getting to meet a celebrity. There, she was approached by a limousine driver who identified himself as one of Combs' workers, and he invited her to an after-party held at a White House in New York City that had a U-shaped driveway, telling her she was what Diddy was looking for. Upon arrival, she claimed she was asked to sign a document she thought was a non-disclosure agreement. Later at the party, she accepted a drink-beg waitress, but soon felt dizzy and disoriented. The lawsuit states that upon feeling disoriented, Jane Doe sought a place to lie down and she went into a room with a bed in it. Allegedly, Jay-Z, Diddy, and a well-known female celebrity, referred to as Celebrity B in the lawsuit, entered the room. Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, was initially referred to as Celebrity A in this original lawsuit, was said to have held her down and who had his way with her while Diddy and Celebrity B watched, after which Diddy allegedly did the same to her. The suit goes further to claim that after the assault, Combs attempted to force her into performing an intimate oral act on him. She reportedly escaped by striking him and quickly gathering her clothes. The suit mentions that despite the presence of other guests at the party, no one attempted to intervene or help her at the time of the alleged assault. After being able to break free from her alleged assailant, she ran to the nearest gas station and immediately telephoned her father for help. The case initially only named Combs, and Jay-Z was referred to as Celebrity A, but in December 2024, the lawsuit was amended and Jay-Z was added as a co-defendant. The amended suit also included claims by Jane Doe's legal team that Jay-Z had harassed and intimidated her in efforts to deter her from naming him as a defendant earlier. If the allegations weren't enough to shock the public, Jay-Z has continued to further surprise with his coming out claims. Jay-Z's response. Jay-Z released a statement shortly after the lawsuit was filed, categorically denying the allegations as absurd and labeling the lawsuit an attempt at blackmail against him. He also voices deep concern for his family, particularly his children, who would undoubtedly face significant challenges as a result of these allegations. Acknowledging the gravity of the situation, he recognized the importance of having an open and honest conversation with his kids, as he wanted to explain the situation clearly, helping them understand what had happened and how it would impact their lives. Jay-Z's statement went on to attack Tony Busby, the attorney representing Jane Doe. The accusations against Busby proved to be just as explosive as those his client levied against Jay-Z. In his statement, Jay-Z articulated that he had received a demand letter from Tony Busby on the 5th of November, just before the lawsuit was amended in December to officially name him. This letter included allegations of assault against Jay-Z, threatening that he had 2 weeks to pay something of substance to stop Jane Doe from making public the allegations that would subject him to opprobrium and irreparably harm his reputation, family, career, and livelihood. Jay-Z went on to inform Busby that he had made a grave misjudgment by assuming that all celebrities would respond to such tactics in the same way. Jay-Z stated, "I am not from your realm. I'm a young man who emerged from the projects of Brooklyn. We don't engage in such games." Like, he further criticized the allegations as idiotic, asserting that only a network of conspiracy theorists would believe such claims. Jay-Z and his legal team painted a picture of Busby as a man wielding his legal prowess not for justice but for personal gain, pointing out that Busby had earlier threatened to file criminal complaints against many celebrities with relations to Diddy, who is currently in hot water with the law. Jay-Z did not hold back in publicly berating Busby's tactics to engage in a smear campaign effort, all in the aim to turn the tide and sway public opinion, thereby creating headlines where the truth is sacrificed. This assertion was supported by the fact that Busby had uttered several false statements against Jay-Z's conduct across various media, placing him on a long list of celebrities accused of misconduct. This response went beyond self-defense and extended to seeking to reclaim the narrative in an environment where accusations often masqueraded as established facts. However, Busby's actions appear to exploit the vulnerabilities of high-profile targets, using them as leverage to extract settlements. The statement alleged that Busby's demands were part of a deliberate extortion scheme, targeting wealthy and famous individuals in the entertainment industry for financial gain. Jay-Z's reputation hangs in the balance as he responds to shocking allegations, but what does Roc Nation's statement reveal about his defense? Statement from Roc Nation. Against these serious allegations, Roc Nation, Jay-Z's entertainment firm, fired back in an attempt to explain from their own point of view and discard what they term baseless claims. The statement by Roc Nation wasn't just to respond to the legal claims, but was a strategically framed message that would cater to the mass appeal and also to their audience at the industrial level. Roc Nation categorically denied the allegations, implying that the claims were fabricated and part of a broader narrative designed to exploit high-profile individuals for personal gain. It claimed that Tony Busby purportedly positioned itself of genuine assault victims while actually pursuing self-serving interests. In stark contrast, the statement disparaged Busby's motives, likening him to an ambulance chaser in a cheap suit, which was a characterization aimed to discredit Busby, suggesting that his actions were driven by opportunism rather than a genuine desire for justice. Roc Nation's statements also highlighted Jay-Z's actual words in his public response, pleading that if such heinous acts actually did happen, they should be pursued with criminal charges and not as civil litigation. For the company, Jay-Z's Brooklyn, New York upbringing held significant relevance, as his roots instilled in him strong values of honor and protection, traits that starkly contrasted with the alleged underhanded tactics employed by Busby. Roc Nation went a step further and accused Busby of trying to blackmail Jay-Z into settling the case with a demand letter filled with threats that unless he settled, he would make the case public. Of course, this painted Busby as manipulative and unscrupulous, more interested in a quick buck than in the notion of justice for his client. One thing was certain in Roc Nation's best messaging strategy: they would play the heroes of integrity and demonize anyone who wanted to take advantage of the system for personal benefit. The more the debate about the lawsuit raged on, the more Roc Nation became reliant on social media for its messaging. They put Jay-Z's entire statement on all social media platforms to ensure his side of the story got told, because social media was one sure way to gain control of the conversation and get their side of the story across, instead of, well, letting other people filter the narrative for the fans. To restore public trust in Jay-Z's character and integrity, it was essential to address the allegations and counter the negative publicity they generated based on all these events. Roc Nation made sure that they addressed the potential implications of such actions on corporate affairs. For one, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell had to come forward to assure that the NFL Roc Nation deal remained intact, despite the fact that Jay-Z faced allegations. This endorsement by one of the sport's leading figures moved Roc Nation further along in business and really showed that most of the stakeholders would still support Jay-Z over these grave accusations. Shadows of doubt creep in as the accuser's story unravels, thread by thread. Will the truth behind the allegations be the ultimate undoing? The seeds of doubt, a mountain of inconsistencies that left the world wondering. As the drama continues to unfold, Jane Doe has become the central figure under scrutiny, particularly regarding the inconsistencies in her recollection of events. Her interview with NBC News showed significant gaps and discrepancies in her memory, one that drives both public and legal discourse on the veracity of her claims. The decision to come forward started on the basis of self-advocacy, Jane Doe said during the interview. The experience was terrible, she related. In her NBC interview, Jane Doe acknowledged discrepancies in her account. "I've made mistakes," she admitted frankly. While conceding that trauma and time can distort memory, she maintained that the core of her story remained true. Jane Doe maintained the substance of her account was true, suggesting minor inconsistencies and details do not detract from the reality of what happened to her. And to bolster this, her attorney, Tony Busby, said many victims of assault have gaps or distortions in their memories due to trauma or sedation, a factor often not taken into consideration when the issue of credibility is discussed. But then again, these inconsistencies are ones that alter the entire story penned down in her lawsuit, as they do not even match up with evidence that has been gathered from said night. Let's look into them. Among these was Jane Doe's claim that she had spoken with several celebrities at the said after party where she was assaulted. She said she had a conversation with Benji Madden regarding his tattoo, discussing with him the tattoo's religious significance. However, Madden did not attend the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards because he was touring with his band Good Charlotte at the time. The inconsistency in this statement led Jay-Z's lawyers to question many other details, citing that false information diminishes her credibility. Another crucial element in Jane Doe's story involved her stating that her father came to pick her up after she had managed to escape the clutches of her assaulters. Contrasting her statement, her father said he has absolutely no recollection of driving 5 hours from Rochester, where they lived at the time, to New York City to pick up his daughter. "I feel like I would remember that, and I don't, he told NBC News. He, however, did remember picking her up late one night, but only after a short drive, and he said he never heard anything about this incident until it was made public. As Jane Doe's accusations unravel, Jay-Z prepares a shocking counterattack, exposing disturbing contradictions and sparking a thrilling game of legal cat and mouse. Jay-Z legal clapback. Jay-Z's lawyer Alex Spiro attempted to dismantle the credibility of the claims brought forth by Jane Doe through the signaling of inconsistencies within her story. A memo came from the desk of Jay-Z's legal team that outlined discrepancies in all of the claims Jane Doe had allegedly made. The statement exposed further discrepancies in her account and also highlighted deeper concerns regarding Tony Busby's conduct throughout the matter. The memo explained in great detail how the central tenet of Jane Doe's allegations revolved around an alleged assault that happened in a big white residence with a U-shaped driveway, which Jay-Z's legal team claims does not exist. As a matter of fact, they even provided proof that Jay-Z and Diddy had both been photographed at a nightclub after the MTV Video Music Awards on that very night she claimed to have spent at a private residence where the incident happened. More importantly, the memo also gives more shortcomings on the part of Jane Doe's actual recollection of the events in question. For example, Jane Doe stated that she spoke with celebrities at the party. Among them was a fellow named Benji Madden, who it later was found was touring during the time in question. Those were the kinds of facts that undermined her story and helped Jay-Z with his claims that her allegations were also improbable and hence possibly fabricated. Legal papers filed by Jay-Z's lawyers went on to explain how such factual inconsistencies altogether painted a picture of a lack of credibility with regard to Jane Doe's allegations. Despite the emerging contradictions, Tony Busby maintained in interviews that while his team was aware of some discrepancies, they didn't discredit Jane Doe's entire story. Busby emphasized his client's resolve to seek justice, acknowledging the challenges of recalling events from over 20 years ago. As Jay-Z's legal team prepared to counter Busby's claims, they also raised concerns regarding Busby's conduct as an attorney. They accused him of violating Rule 11 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, which requires attorneys to ensure that their filings are well grounded in fact and law. The memo asserted that Busby had failed to conduct adequate due diligence before filing the lawsuit, particularly given the serious nature of the allegations against Jay-Z and Diddy. In response to this, Tony Busby says he didn't do a lot of screening of Jane Doe's allegations, in large part because she had been referred to him from another firm. Indeed, in several declarations, Busby insisted the referral gave him comfort as to the legitimacy of her claims. In other words, the prior firm must have checked out her situation before sending her to him. Busby went on to say that his firm had indeed interviewed her and conducted a background check as part of due diligence. He suggested that referral from another firm should have been good enough for them to take some level of credibility with regard to Jane Doe's claims. As of late December 2024, the legal landscape regarding the allegations filed against Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs remains strained and convoluted. Very recently, Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, formally requested that the court dismiss the lawsuit based on several discrepancies in Jane Doe's statements and in her interview with NBC News, where she freely admitted having made some mistakes while recounting what happened that had many legal analysts and advocates raise an eyebrow. While she stuck to the core of her allegations, The mere admission of such mistakes has nonetheless been pounced upon by Jay-Z's lawyers as proof that she is not a credible witness. Recently, questions about Jane Doe's identity have surfaced, with the public calling for it to be revealed. However, the judge ruled against this, citing the sensitive nature of the intimate assault allegations and the potential for further trauma if her identity were disclosed. However, he gave an inkling that the issue would have to be considered afresh as the case progresses and new evidence comes up. In a stunning twist, attorney Tony Busby has turned the tables, accusing Jay-Z's Roc Nation of orchestrating a scheme to illegally solicit his former clients. Clearly, these battles are far from ending. In a dramatic turn in this legal saga, Jay-Z's Roc Nation faces serious accusations from Tony Busby. He filed a lawsuit alleging that Roc Nation engaged in illegal solicitation, attempting to recruit former clients from his firm to file frivolous lawsuits against him. The suit claims that agents who he believed were sent by Roc Nation were posing as state officials, offering up to $10,000 to entice these individuals into taking legal action against Busby. Busby's allegations paint a picture of a calculated scheme where Roc Nation allegedly employs shadowy operatives to undermine his practice. He asserts that these so-called state officials were even flash fake badges while approaching his clients, intensifying the gravity of the situation. These folks have stooped to a new low to try to intimidate the lawyers of the Busby law firm from doing their important work. Busby said in a prepared statement, "This conduct was specifically targeted at our firm so we would not pursue cases related to the Diddy litigation. But we will not be bullied or intimidated. The defendants overstepped, got sloppy, and stupidly got caught in their illegal scheme on tape." A Roc Nation spokesperson has since called the lawsuit nothing but another sham in a statement to the Times. "It's a pathetic attempt to distract and deflect attention. This sideshow won't change the ultimate outcome and true justice will be served soon." Oh, but the drama has not ended as Diddy's attorney abruptly exits the courtroom, stunned by 7 new cases, escalating the high-stakes battle and sparking a frenzy of speculation. Diddy alone. On the other hand, Sean Diddy Combs has been in the news for months now, embroiled in serious allegations of trafficking and racketeering among much more, but he and his legal team have issued strong denials on these particular allegations, framing the claims as unfounded and part of a broader pattern of opportunistic lawsuits aimed at extracting money from high-profile figures. And in a statement given to the media, Diddy's representatives made it known that the allegations are pure fiction, hence he cannot respond to every baseless lawsuit and lawyer-driven money grab. They express confidence in the judicial process, hence they believe facts will be separated from what they describe as opportunistic fabrications. Diddy's legal team has characterized the amended lawsuit, now including allegations against Jay-Z, as merely the latest in a series of shameless publicity stunts. Their argument is that such lawsuits are done to take advantage of celebrities who are anxious about certain falsehoods circulating about them. Diddy's lawyers have consistently maintained his innocence, denying any allegations of assault or trafficking involving young and vulnerable persons. They express confidence that the truth will be revealed through the litigation process. On his part, Diddy had been facing many lawsuits. Recently, there are also 2 new cases of assault that have come up against him. One case relates to 1991, while another relates to 2006. As the prosecutor presented arguments in court detailing how these additional cases strengthened the case against Diddy, his lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, sat silently, listening intently as the allegations were revealed. His team was ready to argue out its case in court when the new allegations came like a bombshell. Diddy's defense was poised to argue out its case in court. As he rose, Mark Agnifilo spoke in a voice that was even but laced with a new sense of urgency. He insisted furiously that this was not just unfair but highly prejudicial to Diddy's right to a fair trial, since they had not been given time to actually prepare for such an expansion of the case against their client. It was a potential poison to possible jurors, stripping Diddy of his right to the presumption of innocence. He protested. An even sharper tension arose when Agnifilo, in a much firmer manner, attacked the prosecution for how they handled evidence related to these new allegations, is that they're using the sensational to overpower and intimidate Diddy, not to seek justice, he said. The courtroom fell silent as Agnifilo fought zealously for his client while at the same time pressing to make sure Diddy was being treated fairly under the law. Then came that most defining moment of this hearing. Agnifilo declared he could no longer be part of what he felt was an unjust legal process and made the bold decision to walk out of the courtroom. However, this remains to be speculation since it has never been confirmed by sources that have any real credibility. What do you think about the allegations facing Diddy and the recent revelations of new cases? Do you believe that you feel high-profile figures like him and Jay-Z are unfairly targeted, or do they deserve scrutiny for their actions? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop your opinions in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe. To enjoy more content like this, tap on the next video on your screen.